Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Monday, July the 11th, 2022. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not financial advice. Futures and forex, equities, options, and crypto trading of any kind carry the risk of substantial losses and should only be taken with capital that you can afford to lose. All right, let's jump in and see where we are. Markets just opened. And it looks like the YM profited maybe 6 seconds to there. Never came back. I would say that's possibly tradable, but probably not. You'd had been very quick. So we'll look for a new setup there. Soybeans, wow. Looks like a quick bounce on the open. That was a possible get in sync, but yeah, bunch of bars hitting target one basically on the opening second. So we'd come and look at, yeah, it looks like that's definitely a tradable trade on the short side. And that's going to be 3 targets hit, and that's a good size trade, it looks like. 14, 22, and 30 ticks. So 66 ticks on the targets. That's 16.5 points so far. And now we're at target 2 with the stop, 14.10 even. So that was another 22 ticks. So that makes it 23 ticks total. 22 ticks total. Or 22 pip. Yeah, 22 points, excuse me. And now continuing to trail down. 0850. YM still in the long trade. So we'll wait for that to finish and pick up whatever's next. Good morning, Miles. Good morning, Steve. Please do say hello. Apologies for the late schedule going up. I got ready to open the room and look for the scheduled session, and it wasn't there. And apparently the sessions for this week didn't get scheduled over the weekend, so I will come back after the room today and get the rest of the week up. But I did get this morning's up just before I opened it up. Troy is traveling this week, and his presentation is Wednesday afternoon for the Wealth 365 for this week. And soybeans stopping out 1406.25, and target 3 was 1408, so that's another 7 ticks. So that's 37 ticks on the trailer. 9.25 points added to our 16.5 is 25.75 points. $1,250 trade plus a little bit. almost 1,300, so like 1287, 1287.50. less commissions and any slippage. And that's a one and done session for the morning on soybeans. Let's see, where was our... There's M2K. All right, there's our first possible trade on the YM. 239. This is assuming you didn't get into the long. It was a get in sync and just popped through right at open. Had maybe 5 or 6 seconds to get into it, but that would have been unlikely, I think, without taking a look at it. There's money management and target 1. So this will be a one and done session on the YM. Considerably better than last Thursday. Target 2. Take a quick look at where we were. Okay, there. Well, I would say that trade is definitely a not in our progression. So our first trade would be the short at 4 minutes and 40 seconds after open. 3. Okay, so you got a little bit of time. That may have been moving around. You'll have to look at the bars on a different chart and kind of see when things hit and how long you had to get in. But it looks like possibly a tradable trade, and nice. Targets 3 and 4 and big trailer. All right, we got targets 1 and 2, and it looks like we are still trailing on the YM. Trying to work down through the 200 EMA at the moment. Stop at 191 from an entry at 239. Another short trade on the Russell. And that just gave you a pullback to definitely get in it. Okay, the YM still at 191. Did make target 3. And the M2K trade was a full stop out. And the YM stopping out at 191. So that is 48 ticks on the trailer and 34 on target. So 82 ticks at $5 a tick gives you about $410 for a 2-position trade on the YM this morning. Okay, let's take a look back. That's on a per contract basis, essentially. Let's go back and look at what crude did this morning. This first trade at 51 seconds after our start time, 9 o'clock and 51 seconds. 5 seconds to the close of the first bar after the setup, and we were already halfway to money management. So highly unlikely that one's tradable. Never even thought about coming back anywhere close to the entry. Then we pick up the short that meanders about and definitely gets in however fast it went through to begin with. Got three or four chances to get into that. Then it pops up. If you're using the blue SMA trade, you probably had to just exit the short manually because that popped up in 7 seconds. So very unlikely you had a chance to get the trade in completely with the stop and reverse. So just getting out wherever you can that's not a big trade. So but it's definitely going to be a loss. But I would have expected that the long trade would have been too fast to catch anyway. So your next trade is another short, lots of time to get in. And it just meanders around the opening or the setup for quite a while and bounces up. And it bounces right through the entry on another stop and reverse. And so you're going to take a full stop out on that. That was 1 second beyond the setup through your full stop. So the long too fast trade, taking a full stop on the short, potentially 2 full stop outs. That strictly by the trade plan would be time to step aside. If you are trading, if you're not using the two loss power of quitting, then you take the third trade that happens to go for target 1 and target 2, getting 51 ticks, which would certainly help get you. I suspect that haven't run the numbers, but you're not going to be positive on that even with the third trade, but it's going to be a whole lot closer. So not a good start to the morning on crude. Unleaded also misses the long trade. The short trade has gone too far to pick up after our start time. Actually, our start time, just puts it right down here halfway and never comes back. So no trade on the long side. You get the short. Plenty of time to get in that one, and it also comes back to the entry. So definitely in. Getting targets 1 or 2, whichever you're trading, 49 or 75 ticks, and trailing to 39.36 from the entry at 39.93. So 57 ticks on the trailer. Another solid day on unleaded. No, I'm not in an airplane. No, Troy has somebody that does that, and she's actually international, so I'm not sure what happened this week. He may have told her that he was going to be traveling, and so they didn't get scheduled. I don't know, but that will get taken care of. I was busy all weekend, so I hadn't looked until I was setting up the room this morning and went, oh, phooey, nothing there to set up with. All right, so, okay, what we've got another short on the Russell. Definitely a pullback there that you can get into. So in that trade, target 3, target 4, and a small trailer. 2 wins, 1 loss so far on the Russell. That's the micro on the 1.5 point Renko bar with a 0.5 point offset. That's the custom Renko bar on TradeStation. 15. It's actually 5-tick trend, 10-tick offset, and 40-tick. Or no, I'm sorry, 25-tick reversal using the Unirenko bar on NinjaTrader. You get the same thing. Okay, pound Aussie anyway. 8:30 start. That's a get in sync trade at 8:22. Comes up. You had about a 2-minute bar in there. You had about 2 minutes to get your order in. So definitely in that trade. In just seconds, it goes through targets 1, 2, and 3. And like from the time it entered the trade, in just 1 second, it had already almost hit target 3. You're 6 seconds, and it's beginning to go back up. So you should have been able to get your stop moved to the 76.17, which is where it stopped out. Or you could have exited at the reversing entry. Reversing entry being at 76.14. Actually, you'd have taken that to 76.16 anyway with the key level adjustment. That being a stop. So quick one and done on the pound Aussie, although that second trade would have been the better trade to get into. But how fast did it go? Well, actually, yeah, plenty of time to get 32 seconds on the bar, so most likely had a chance to get in that if you were trading it. That would not be a trade plan trade. All right, unleaded. That's right. We looked at unleaded already. Excuse me. Let's look at the micro NQ. Wow, going by in a hurry this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charts complete. 6 charts are positive. We're still trading the Russell. Micro NQ. I'm, of course, showing charts in Eastern time. Exchange time is Central time. So the trade plan refers to an 8:30 start time. Or actually, wait 4 minutes, so it's 8:34. So it's 9:34 on my chart. There's our start time right there. In this bar here somewhere. So we're not going to get that trade. It stops out for a break even. 21. Same second. Chances are that spiked through and came back. That's probably not a tradable trade. Loss if it is. And we go to the short side. Not real likely we're in that. Came through pretty quickly. Second bar was just 6 seconds. Or second bar was just 5 seconds. Second bar close. And then another 5 seconds and we're 4 bars in. So unlikely that came back, but it's possible if it did pull back, you'll have to look at that intra bar. So I'm going to assume that we've got no trades so far on the NQ. Going through the session low. Oh, that was a beauty. That was a beauty if you could have gotten into it. All right. And back to the long side. 18, 1 second. Still 1 second. Three bars in 1 second. Then it punches back down the other way. I would say, once again, that's probably not tradable, or at least avoidable. All right, that bar is 8 seconds with a pretty good sized pullback. That should put you into this short. So let's see where that takes. Oh, well, that gets us to target 1. Well, let's see. And then looks like we get a reversal. Yeah, you got a nice pullback. So lots of time on the reversal at 43 even, because that's, you want to make your stop and reverse adjustment to try to stay in the prior trade. But it does switch to long. And then comes back down toward the short. 59. 1 second on that bar. Oh, we're getting noisy. Yeah, you'd have taken the full stop on the long. No time to get out. Is in 1 second you'd already hit the stop. But the short remains valid. Just 2 seconds to the close of that third bar, then it goes back the other way. So I would say it's not tradable unless it and then it hits the stop. So that one's avoidable. We've got 2 losses now. No trigger on the long side, and we get a new short. Same second. 5 seconds to the second bar. Still 5 seconds on the third bar. Still 5 on the fourth. That one's not tradable. Actually, yeah. Oh, well, wait a minute. Then you get a pullback. So that, yeah, you got a good chance to get in that one. So that is, it gives you a target 2, target 3, target 4. Nice trailer. So that's 1 win, 2 losses. And we come back with a possible long. Another pullback, so that gets you into there. Slow progression up, but it goes up nonetheless. And there's target 2 and trailing target 3, and we trail out at target 1. 2 winners, 2 losses. Short trade 14 minutes into our session, or actually 10 minutes into our session. "33-second bar, but chances are that since that first bar was no seconds to the close of the first bar, I would expect that probably spiked through and came back up. Probably avoidable, so I'm going to assume that. Short again. 4 seconds, 7 to the second bar, 8 to the third bar, 9 to the fourth bar, and well, it doesn't hit. It did not get far enough to get to money management, so it is a potential get in sync. But it then stops, then reverses, so that's going to be loss number 3. 1 second, 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds to full stop. That's going to be a full stop. Actually, oh no, it did get to money management. No, it didn't. That's a full stop. So that's going to be the third loss, and that's your session ender. But should be probably a marginally positive session, if not very close to break even. And take a look back at the Russell and see if it did anything more. So we picked up that short. That long was avoidable. Picking up the short at 950 or 850 Central. Three. 9 seconds to there. There may have been some pullback in there back to the entry, but break even trade whatever you were able to do. So not of particular consequence. Another short 50. That's 5 seconds. Now you may have had time to get into here, given it was 5 seconds the first bar. And that would have been a loss. And we go long. 6. You got 6 seconds till it gets to the entry. I would say that's a very likely to be a trade you should be in. And that's where we are now. We're currently in that trade. It has hit money management and is trailing, but has not quite hit. Well, let's see. No, it's a major key level is what it is. Is why the stop is at 39.9. Just missed. No, it hit target 3 on the nose. So take your scalp target. Any questions or comments this morning? We'll say, well, we're almost to the 10 a.m. crude session in 2+ minutes, about 2:45, about 2:40. Still in the long. Now that we've hit the scalp target, I would bring the stop to 40.2, and it's now at 40.4, 40.8. Target 4 hit. 41.1. No, I'm sorry. 41.4. 42.2, 42.9. Bouncing up quickly now, 43.3. Quick stop moves. Still a little over a minute to go on crude. And that trade hit its money management, so that's no longer going to be valid get in sync for crude. Minute 15. 43.8 for the Russell stop. Under a minute to go before the crude session. And the Russell challenging the stop and stopping out. 20 seconds to the crude session. And crude session is started. and a short on crude filtered. Still no trades on the full crude. All right, still quiet, and a short on the Russell as well. And a couple of bars to get into that. Scalp, target 3 and target 4. 1740.8 for the stop, and just stopping out. And there's our first trade on crude. Probably time to get into that. And there's target 1, 12 ticks. That would have been a good candidate for an adjustment around the 20 SMA. That happened too fast for me to do it. Entry was at 76. The EMA is at 77. Yeah, probably push that to 78. It still the result would have been the same. That's a one and done session, stopping out for break even, second position for a single tick. All right, questions, comments, etc. Everybody's being quiet this morning, and all of our charts are done. So crude 10 a.m. session is a winner. It gets us back a little bit for our loss there on the 9 a.m. session. The YM, soybeans, unleaded gas, all one and done winners. Pound Aussie was one and done. Successful morning on the Russell. marginal, just basically a break-even session on the micro NQ. All right, any questions? All right, small group this morning because of the late schedule. All right, the Russell short trade 5, 8 seconds on that. Yeah, you're in that one, and that's a loss. Back to long 2, 7, 10 seconds in the first 3 bars. Possibly pulled back in there. Just have to look at that, and it's breaky. It's only it's a break even trade anyway, so that's all it's going to go. All right. Well, that's a short session this morning. Okay, I see one chart here that I haven't looked at that's worth talking about. For those of you that might be trading the micro ES on Catapult. Notice that we have a short trade set up at 9:30, 8:30 Central, which is the exchange time. Our trade plan on this starts at 8:35 Central, but notice we had not hit the entry at 8:35, but the 8:35 bar closed above the stop, and the 8:40 bar, the open was also above the stop, and it came down through the entry. So that should actually be a valid trade. Calculator doesn't understand how to deal with it because it hit the entry and the stop on the same bar, so it doesn't follow. But that is actually starting above the stop and then hitting it had to have been stop first and then entry. So it's valid trade, hitting all four targets, and looks like maybe probably just stopped out. Yep, just stopped out. EMA was at 54, so yeah, 65 would have been the trailing stop, and it went to 65.25. So 4 targets and almost target 3 for the trailer. That actually would have been a nice big win, and your order should have been in there since you started the bar at our start time up at the already up at the stop, so it certainly should have had time to get into that. But that was one I saw on one of my off-screen charts, so I thought that was one to take a look at to understand why the calculator didn't track that, but that would be a one and done session, and should be a very profitable one. 3.5, 5.5, 7.5, and 9.5 points. So 9, 16.5, 17, 20, 26 points on the targets, and probably another 7, so 33 points on the micro ES at $5 a point. And not huge, but that's per contract. You certainly may have more than one contract per position sitting on. So that is that one. Not a lot else to talk about right now. Anybody else have any questions? If not, I'm going to go ahead and bring this session to a close. Other than the 9 a.m. crude session, it was a very positive session. All right, folks. Everyone have a wonderful morning, rest of the morning. Good day, and we will see you tomorrow morning. I will get the schedule up after I close the room, and the rest of the week will be a normal schedule. Just will be me all week with Troy traveling this week. So we will see you tomorrow at 9:30, or maybe a few minutes before.